going to show you how to make the Italian appetizer called bruschetta. Bruschetta? Well, actually, I think they call it bruschetta. Bruschetta. So today I'm going to show you how to make bruschetta. It's my version, so it's not the Italian version, but this is the way I make it, and it always turns out great. It's really good to make in the summer when you have lots of fresh tomatoes and you don't know what to do with them. So I find you can make this up and you can use it over the next 2 or 3 days if you make a big batch. What I like to do is to peel my tomatoes. So I let them sit in a hot bath for 2, 3, 5 minutes, and then I would peel them. And as I mentioned, I put them in a hot bath. It actually wasn't in a bathtub. I just put them in the sink with some hot water, and I'm going to take out the core, and then I'm going to peel them. So this just takes a few minutes, but I just don't like to, personally, I don't like to have the skin on it. I think if you're okay with the skin, you can leave it on, but I really don't like it. So I just peel it off. And it's coming off pretty easy from having sat in the hot water. You could also pour some boiling water over it, over the tomatoes, and then just let them sit for a minute or so they're not too hot to handle. And then the tomato peel should come off fairly easy as well. All right, so once we get most of that peeled, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and cut the tomatoes up in relatively small pieces. So let's start with this group here. You just want tiny little 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch chunks. Okay, so those look like they're a pretty good sized chunk. And you just keep doing this until you've got all the tomatoes cut up that you think you want. And then the next step will be to move on to the herbs. So I ended up with just over 2 cups of chopped tomatoes. And now I'm going to add some olive oil. I'm using organic, extra virgin olive oil. I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of olive oil to the mixture. All right, and then I'm going to add in basil. Now, I have dried basil, and you can use fresh basil. Actually, if you have fresh basil, it's probably better, but I find I use it dried all the time, and I find it works well. So I've got a tablespoon here, so I'm just going to slowly add it in, and it will expand because it's dried. It will expand as it sits. So that's looking pretty good. I think I'm just going to be generous, and I'm going to add in the whole tablespoon. Okay. All right, so there we go. That looks like it's got plenty of basil in it. Then what I do is I add salt. So I'm grinding some pink Himalayan salt here. And what you have to really do is just kind of do a taste test to get it to the flavor that you like yourself. You don't want it too salty, but yet you want enough salt in there that it's going to bring out the flavor of the tomatoes. All right, so I'm just going to test that. Pretty close. So I'm thinking this is probably half a teaspoon of salt that I've put into it. But again, you can just add it gradually and get it to the flavor that you think is what you like. Okay, I'm just going to do one more little test. Okay, that's perfect. Now, I'm going to try something different. I have some fresh chives, so I'm just going to add in a few. I'm going to chop a few of these up, and then I may keep some aside to put on top when I actually put it onto the bread. So, but I just want to get a little flavor of the chives in there now. So that's probably half a teaspoon, I would say. So you can experiment with this. That's what I like to do when I'm cooking. I like to experiment with things, and you never know how it's going to turn out. So now that I've got it mixed up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it aside, and I'll just cover it with some cellophane and leave it on the cupboard at room temperature. And just letting it sit for an hour or a couple hours, it will bring the flavor of the tomatoes out, and the basil. It'll be much more strong, and then it'll be ready to go on your toasted bread. You can use toasted English muffins, you can use baguettes, crusty rolls, whatever. We're just about ready to eat, so it's time to put it all together. Today I'm using English muffins, but as I said, you could use any kind of crusty bread, and I like to toast it, so I've lightly toasted it. And now I've got the tomato mixture here. So you just take and spoon it on. Try to do it evenly. You want to make sure you get enough juice so that it's nice and moist. Okay, and then what I do is I like to add a bit of Parmesan cheese. So I'm just going to sprinkle it on top. And I'm also going to use a little bit of grated cheese. This is a grated pizza mozzarella, so it's got like cheddar and it's got mozzarella in it. And then I'll do the rest with the other 5 and we'll put it in the oven. These are all ready to go into the oven. You can see I've got it on a cookie sheet that I've put some parchment paper on top. So we're going to put it into the oven now, and we'll put it on the bottom rack to start. I have it on broil, and I'm just going to watch it very closely. All right, let's check it out. Oh, that's perfect. You can see they're bubbling a little bit on top. You don't want to overdo it, so we'll just take it out and give it a minute to cool down, and then we're ready to eat. All right, so here we have the final product. Homemade bruschetta. Oh, actually, I should say homemade bruschetta. Anyways, give it a try. Remember, you can change some of the ingredients. You could use fresh basil and Parmesan. I just used what I had in the cupboard, and that works just as well. And you can use different breads and add different toppings. Just give it a try. So, have fun with it. That sound good?
Yes.